As you might have heard, in November we're running our very first development masterclass. Now this will be your chance to learn the secrets of property development directly from highly experienced and successful developers. But in this video, I'm going to let you in on some of the secrets of property development in advance. Here I'm going to explain how to find development sites in the first place. So hi, my name is Mark Lloyd. I'm co-founder of Property Master Academy and I've been investing in property since 2005. In my opinion, development is a big opportunity right now. Events over the last few years, such as COVID and the move on to online retail, have meant there is a lot of underused and unused property out there. Much of it is crying out for development. Also, with many experts predicting property prices will fall, this could actually be a great time to get started with less investment than in the recent past. Of course, before you can do any sort of development, you need to find a site to do it on. So, to answer the question, how do you find development sites? Well, development sites are absolutely everywhere. They can be found in every city, town and village and in every street in Britain. Wherever you're sitting watching this right now could even be a development site. But they're not shouting out, "Hello, I'm a development site. Develop me." So you have to go out and hunt them down. Now you have to develop what we call a developer's eye. With every site you see, you have to think what could be better than what is there already. And in particular, what could be more valuable? How are you going to add the value to that site? So development sites come in many different forms. So let's look at the main types of sites that could be developed. Well, a greenfield is on the face of it an obvious type of development site, though greenfields are not always the easiest to develop, I should add. Brownfield sites, on the other hand, are often easier to development. Brownfield sites are sites which have been used for something else previously, but which are now disused or derelict. For example, an old factory or storage yard. Development sites might already be occupied by some kind of building. Now in this case, there are two development opportunities to consider. You could develop the existing buildings into a newer and more valuable use and perhaps build on any spare land, or you could demolish the existing buildings and start from scratch with a clean sheet. A potential development site might already be occupied by a residential building, in other words, a house or houses. Now, a simple type of development you could consider, which is very doable for new developers, is to look for a house with a large garden. Then try to buy just the garden and build one or maybe two new houses on it. A potential development site might already be occupied by a commercial building. Again, you could look at refurbishing it for a new use or clearing the site. In my opinion, a really good type of opportunity to look out for right now is a commercial to residential development. There's a shortage of homes, but lots of redundant or underused commercial property out there. Now, some of which is available very, very cheaply. So when you're looking for development sites, look at sites occupied by offices, shops, pubs, care homes, petrol stations, and so on. Could they be developed into something else? You also need to take a look out for the unusual development sites. There are lots of examples where small developments have turned, say, a water tower or a public toilet block into a house. Now, it's very true to say that development is a national and even an international opportunity. But I suggest that as a newbie, you start looking for development sites in your own area initially. It will make things much, much easier. And development can involve some massive sites. Big development sites can easily have 1,000 houses or more, or 1 million square feet plus of commercial space. But again, it's best to start fairly small. Smaller sites will be easier and cheaper to develop. For example, think in terms of sites that are somewhere between the size of a tennis court and the size of a football pitch. One very important thing to know about looking for development sites is that some are being openly advertised for sale, but many others are not. There are several ways of finding development sites that are openly for sale. First of all, check with local estate agents and try the main property portals like Rightmove and Zoopla as well. You can also try commercial property agents or land agents if you're looking to develop in a rural area. Some development sites are also offered to sale by auction, so also try auction houses and auction websites. You can also check with your local council. Now what's interesting is councils sometimes sell off buildings and small plots of land which they don't need anymore. And all councils keep what is called a brownfield register. You can find it on their website. It lists all the brownfield land in their area which has been identified as suitable for development. The government body Homes England also has a website called Land Hub, which lists sites available for new housing, though I should say these are mainly large sites for established developers. There are also some websites which list plots of land for development. These include plotfinder.net, plotbrowser.com and sitefinder.com. In many ways, the sites that aren't being advertised for sale are particularly exciting because you won't be in direct competition with other developers if you want to buy them. But how on earth do you find development sites that are not actually for sale? Well, I recommend you get into the habit of touring around your local area on a regular basis. You can drive around, but walking or cycling or taking the bus is much better. It will give you an opportunity to spot potential sites that you could easily miss when driving past them. Remember to look at things with your developer's eye. Could that site be developed with something more valuable than what is there now? Once you've identified a possible development site, drop a letter through the letterbox or knock on the door if you're feeling brave enough. Of course, this won't work if the site is empty or whomever lives or works there is not the owner. But in these cases, it's easy enough to find out who owns the site from the land registry. For just £3, you can find out the name and address of the owner and a whole host of other useful information about the property. So once you've found out who the owner is, you can then sound them out to see if they might be interested in selling their site. Now, you can't expect everybody you approach to be interested, but you only need one person to be interested, and that could be your first property development project in the bag. Well, I hope that's given you some idea of how to go about finding development sites. In our development masterclass, we will teach you how to find sites, fund sites, and exit them for a profit, and much more about the world of property development. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button so that others just like you will get to see it, and also subscribe to our channel so you get notified of other videos that we post each and every week. Also appearing on your screen right now will be more videos that will help you in your property development business. Thanks for listening.